sensible questions from a very good student, Jay-Z. And basically, the question is not how to differentiate y is equal to a to the x, but a special case, y is equal to 2 to the x. You understand the special case, it's the same with whatever constant a there is. So you have to be careful here. A is not a function, a is just a constant raised to the power of x. Okay, so let's look at the case when y is equal to 2 to the x. You take the natural log of both sides in order to bring the x down. So it's natural log of y is equal to x times the natural log of 2. Okay. And if I divide through by the natural log of 2, I'm left with I'd like to, before we continue, to remind you of a very simple rule, which is that dy by dx is equal to 1 over dx by dy. And it's so important, I'll just put a little box around that. And I want you to take a mental picture of that, because that's and it sort of makes sense, doesn't it? If you look at the fraction, if you look at it as a fraction, it makes sense, right? So in this case, well, I have here x in terms of y. So if I now find dx by dy, I know that dy by dx is simply the reciprocal of that. Does that make sense? Yeah. So let me now find dx by dy. So dx by dy is equal to, well, the natural log of y, the derivative, is simply 1 over y. And that was over the natural log of 2, which is a constant. We have to remember that this is simply a constant. So that effectively doesn't get differentiated. That's just a constant. Okay. Now, that can be rewritten as 1 over the natural log of 2 times y. But we haven't found dy by dx, we found dx by dy. Well, dy by dx is simply the reciprocal of dx by dy. So so here we can say, therefore, dy by dx, or the reciprocal of 1 over the natural log of 2 times y, is simply the natural log of 2 times y. Okay, so just taking the reciprocal. Okay, it's clearer. But what is y? Well, in the first place, y is simply 2 to the x. Okay, so now I can sub that in, can't I? Because I want it dy by dx as a function of x. So dy by dx, if I sub in what y actually was in the first place, it's actually 2 to the x times the natural log of 2. Because that's what y is. I'll write 2 to the x in front. And that's my final answer. It's just taking logs of both sides. And so if we look at the more general case, y is equal to a to the x, then we can see dy by dx is equal to the natural log of a times a to the x.